Alhamdulillahi nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruhu wa nu'minu bihi wa natawakkalu alayh. Wa na'udzu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. May yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa may yudlilhu fala hadiya lahu. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam tabaraka wa sallama tasliman kasiran kasira amma ba'd. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wa man ahsanu qawlan mimman da'a ila Allah wa amila salihan wa qala innani minal muslimin. My dear brothers and respected elders and sisters, English is my second language. It's not my mother tongue language. My mother tongue language is Malay. English is a language which I've learned through the ages. I never be able to speak very good English. I still remember when I just passed my matriculation English, which I've done in Australia. I did my matriculation in Australia. Then from that I entered Melbourne University to do optometry. The first Malay ever, ever able to enter into that department. Since that time until today, no one, no Malay has ever able to enter into that course. It is quite a difficult course to enter. It ranked about the fourth most difficult course to enter in Melbourne. And with the grace of Allah, I'm able to enter into the course and graduated. And after graduation, able to do masters in optometry, but not able to do my doctor of philosophy in optometry due to the need to teach the students, which in the new established department or unit of optometry in the Malaysian National University in the Faculty of Medicine. Then after that, I never tried to do to do PhD because of the work of dawah. So the work of dawah need me to stay in Malaysia. I cannot leave the work anymore and go to Australia and do the work there, even though I was requested by the people of Australia to do the work there. I said, cannot unless I do my PhD. I was allowed to do that by our late Hadraji Maulana Inamul Hasan. Then when I decide not to go, I again tell him I cannot go because of the need of the work of Tabligh. So I am only having master degree. Not that I cannot do PhD, I can, and I think I will. I will be able to get doctor in philosophy, in optometry, but opportunities or time does not permit me to do that. So I didn't regret for not doing my PhD. After teaching in the university, I still giving time 40 days in a year, 3 days in a month. I have warned the head of the ophthalmology department that if you want me to teach here, you must allow, me to practice my religious work. He agreed. So either the university allow me or not, I will go. To go for 40 days without pay. Then I find it so difficult. Then I resigned. After 2 batches of my students graduated as the first few batches of optometrists in Malaysia, I resigned in 1986. In 87, I opened a practice of optometry in Kuala Lumpur, the first Malay optometrist in Malaysia. So then the days continue as such. After then, I stopped practicing optometry because it gave me so much cost to maintain. So I entered into the field of alternative medicines, using iridology as a means to diagnose diseases and treating diseases using herbs. I established the Integrative Holistic Wellness Center, and since then until today I'm still practicing it, even though I'm not so vigorous due to my busy making interpretation of the Quran. The interpretation of the Quran have taken me nearly 8-9 years. During that time I barely can do, but still I manage, but not so well. Now almost I'm not doing very much the integrative medicine. So these are my somewhat my bibliography. I'm not a scholar of Islam. I've never studied even a day in Madrasah, and nobody knows me as ulama or scholars. I'm known as a doctor or optometrist by many. Many in Malaysia think that an optometrist is a doctor, even though we are not called doctor in Malaysia. But we are called doctor in America, in Philippines. It's the same thing. We are studying the same thing as what the optometrist is studying in America. It's just a system. Then finally, at the end, I was being asked to lead the department of optometry in Twin Tech International College University. At that place, I acquired professorship. An instant of time. I told them, if you want me to lead this department, you give me a professor. They agree. So within a year, I get a professor. No one believed, not even my brother, elder brother, believed that I will get professorship. But fate is a fate that I will find. Although I left the academician field in 1986, and yet in 2013, I think, 12, I have acquired full professorship. So people who knows me later call me professor. Those who knows me before call me doctor. Dr. Nasoha. Those who knows me as an Amir of Tabligh call me Amir Saab. So I got many names. Dr. Nasoha, when somebody call me Dr. Nasoha, he knows me as an optometrist. If he call me Amir Saab, he knows me as a Shura of Tabligh. If they call me professor, he is among the later people who knows me. So I have many titles. So my dear brothers, I'm not a religious scholar. I never studied any madrasah, never go to any madrasah to memorize Quran or to learn Islamic intelligence. But my desire is for Islam. Since I was young kid, I start giving dawah even at small age as 10 to my auntie, I lecture her. I lecture my sisters. Tell them to obey Allah. One day, I was, I think, already quite. I think I'm quite old that time. Not old, young man. It was Eid day, After praying the Eid day, I come back to my mother house and I saw my sister still sleeping, not praying. I start crying, I said, "Oh, my sister, you please wake up and pray." I cried. My father then said, "Nasoha, no one will go, all people will not go to paradise. Some will go to hellfire. Don't worry." My father told me. So I still crying, seeing my sister not praying. So the worry, not only now, those days. So, in other words, I'm been chosen, selected to lead this, to revive this religion of Allah at the time when the religion has extinguished. It's not easy to find a young kid giving dawah to old people, as young as 10 years old or 8 years of age. I'm telling them about what I've learned in the school. I can still remember the signs of baligh. I told them. So that auntie of mine, when I'm old and involved in the work of dawah, he said, "Nasoha, you from early age are always giving lectures until today." So, I think whether you agree with me or not, I think I'm chosen. Yeah. So, that's why even though I do not attend any madrasah, do not know any Arabic, Allah have chosen me to do the right work. The work of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. I used to do the work of Jamaat Tabligh, which I don't really convinced that it is the work of Nabi Sallam, because they don't even invite the non-Muslim to become. How could it is the work of Nabi? But I still doing the work of Jamaat Tabligh because there is no other work which is correct. So what shall I do? I should do even the work which is nearly correct, not correct, partially correct. Among all the works in the world which I have participated to a certain extent, I observe Tabligh is the work which is close enough, not so close. So that's why I do the work of the Tabligh, with the intention that a day will come when I will know the true work. So while doing Tabligh, I used to cry and ask Allah to show me the correct work. Nobody knows. That was 20, 30 years ago. Nobody knows. Many things that the Tabligh is the superb work, the true work. No. It's not the superb work. It's a good work. But it's surely not the work of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Anyway, my endeavor in the pursuits of trying to find the true work has materialized. Now, Allah have guided me to the correct path. Allah has made me to be able to know how to do the work of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And I've done that. To the extent that Allah give me increase of iman and good deeds, which make me able to understand the Quran. The level of iman which enable me to understand what his words, which enable me to interpret his words. Nobody understands the word of Quran if they have very weak iman, or just barely having iman, or even they have become true believers of good deeds. They cannot. They must become the lover of Allah, of the highest standard, highest level. Then they will be able. Because to be able to understand the words of Allah is only given to the lover of Allah, not the lower level, the highest level of the lover of Allah. So I've written the Quran. It takes me around 8 years or 9. I've sent to someone else to do editing, but he doesn't know Quran. He only knows English, so he cannot do editing. Now a year has passed. From December 2020 until now 2021, I'm editing the Quran. It takes me nearly a year to edit the Quran. I've now come to the 81 books. I've written 84 books, 81 books I've edited it with the grace of Allah. So soon a new edition, corrected, edited by the author himself, because nobody can edit my Quran, because nobody knows about Quran more than I do. Allah is the one who gave me the knowledge, not that I'm proud of it. So when I started reading the Quran and interpreting the Quran in 2013 or something, or 2010, nobody believed that I will ever complete reading any writing the Tafseer-Prof. Nobody. No one. Many having doubt. Oh, they will say bad things about me. They were thinking that I'm doing evil deeds, trying to do things which I'm not able to do. And surely I will stop halfway. But all that thing doesn't happen. With the grace of Him, I've completed it successfully in 2020, in the day of Maulud of Nabi. Then edited it. Now soon it will be completed. Is the great miracle, The Quran is itself a miracle. To be able to make tafsir of it is a very great miracle. Is the miraculous book of Allah, the noblest book, ever revealed to mankind. There are many other books, Taurat, Injil, but cannot be compared to Quran. Quran is the noblest book of Allah. Allah says, if ever anyone want to become successful in this world and hereafter, they need to read, to understand, and to practice the Quran. Allah doesn't say they need to read the Quran. All the Muslims now are only reading Quran, a little bit memorizing the Quran. Memorizing Quran and reading the Quran is almost the same, except that when you read the Quran, you read by looking at the Quran. When you read the Quran without looking at the Quran, then you become Hafiz or Hafiza. But doesn't make you to understand the Quran and to be able to practice the Quran. This is something which is a mishap, something which are very great wrong which has been committed by Muslims since day one the Quran is revealed. They think that the order is only to read, to memorize. No, the order is not only to read, no memorize. There is no order to memorize the Quran. There's only the order to read, to understand, and to practice. To memorize is not an order, but it is, Allah says in the Quran, Quran is easy to memorize. Why Allah says that? Allah wants to tell that this is a miracle. Who can memorize any book? other than Quran. Only Quran. Why? It is the words of Allah. Allah made it easy for people to memorize, so that people will take heed from reading the Quran. But they will not take heed from reading the Quran unless they have Iman. They are able to understand and to practice the Quran. So I don't know Arabic. I've never learned Arabic, never gone to any madrasah. But because I'm doing the work of Nabi, the way Muhammad SAW, with the sacrifice of my wealth and time, attention to Allah, to the level which Allah has become so pleased with me, He gave me Iman and faith towards Allah. And the Iman was so high to the level which make me eligible to be made to become His lovers of the highest level. And with that comes the award of having to understand the Quran and to practice it. So the person who can understand, to practice all the orders of Allah which Allah mentioned in the Quran is the most successful person ever lived in this world. If anybody wants to become successful in this world and hereafter, the path that they have to take is to read, to recite, to practice all the orders of Allah which Allah mentioned in the Quran. And you can only be able to do that if you have a very high level of Iman or faith towards Allah. And that will not come to you unless you do, the work of Muhammad SAW, the work of all the other prophets of Allah, the work of inviting people to Allah, whom Allah has said to be the path of Muhammad and the path of those who follow him. The path is to lead you to the goal, to the aim of your life. And the aim and the goal of our life is to become the lover of Allah. So when we become the lover of Allah, then Allah gives the Quran, the understanding of the Quran, and the ability to obey all the orders of Allah which Allah has mentioned in the Quran, which Allah has given to me. So such a very great reward, able to understand, to interpret it. I told you I am able to understand because you can see nobody who are able to understand the Quran, able to interpret the Quran. You have to understand the Quran before you can interpret it, isn't it? If I'm saying that I understand the Quran, there's a proof. Anybody can tell that I understand the Quran. If I say I understand the Quran, what's the proof? Have you written any interpretation of the Quran? No. No evidence base that you can claim yourself to understand the Quran. Hamka may saying, I understand the Quran because he wrote a tafsir. Ibn Kathir may claim, but then I can tell him, your tafsir is wrong. Who can tell Ibn Kathir and Hamka that their tafsir is wrong other than me? Nobody can. Hamka can tell Ibn Kathir your tafsir is wrong if his tafsir is any better than Ibn Kathir. Ibn Kathir can tell. But if Ibn Kathir live now, he may read my tafsir and tell whether my tafsir is wrong or he can. Then I will argue with him. Your tafsir is wrong. Because you said this. In the Quran, in the Surah Ar-Rahman, Allah mentioned, I am the Lord of the two west and the two east. Both Hamka and Ibn Kathir making interpretation that Allah is the Lord of 4 seasons, summer and winter. That is wrong until I can tell them if they are alive now. That's wrong. Why? It doesn't mean the Lord of the 2 seasons. It's the Lord of the 2 west of the heaven and the earth, and the 2 east, the heaven and the earth. I can tell them that your tafsir is wrong. Ibn Kathir doesn't make the tafsir of Alif Lam Mim. He said nobody knows what it means. And then any things come of similar verse in the other surah, he will say the same translation interpretation as Alif Lam Mim in Surah Baqarah. That's all. He cannot make tafsir of that verse, which I did. So I can tell that your tafsir is wrong because I am written the tafsir. I can tell the work of Tabligh Jamaat is wrong because I have formulated a work which are very much similar to the work of Nabi. I told people to invite the non-Muslim to recite the kalimah. The Muslim, not to invite them to recite kalimah, to invite them to fulfill the right of reciting the kalimah, which is to do the work of inviting people to good and forbidding people from evil. These are major differences between my work and Tabligh. Tabligh, nothing. Tabligh asking Muslim to go for days, 3 days, to go for 4 months, what? To do what? Just making zikr and Quran and reading talim, giving lecture, and then in the evening go to every Muslim house to ask them to go to masjid. Nothing about kalimah. They don't even invite the non-Muslim to recite kalimah. Neither they invite the non-Muslim to recite, nor they invite Muslim to do the work of dawah. Who give this understanding to me? It is Allah the Almighty. That's why I can say the work of Tabligh is wrong. Other than me cannot say. You can't say. Particularly if you are not doing the work at all. You're simply watching the Tabligh from far and saying Tabligh is wrong. Who are you to say Tabligh is wrong? You're not even doing any work of dawah. Like all this ustad, who says Tabligh is wrong, Tabligh is wrong, Tabligh got no knowledge. You got no right to do that. The only person who is having the right to say Tabligh is wrong is me. Others have no right because they are not doing Tabligh. They are not even doing any work of dawah. Simply saying, who are you? And somebody said the tafsir of Ibn Kathir is wrong. Who are you? You have written a tafsir? You can't. You can't make that claim and comment. You are ignorance. Ibn Kathir is better than you. The only person who can say the tafsir of Ibn Kathir and Jalan and Hamka is wrong is me. The only one. I have right to do that. I have to do that. I am commanded to do that, to tell they are wrong. Because I know the truth. So when a scholar like me, who told you that is wrong, you must listen. Don't say, oh, everybody will say wrong like him. He is saying that he is always right. We are always wrong. You know why I can say you that what you are doing is wrong? Because I understand the Quran. That's why I can tell you what you are doing wrong. Arkam is doing is wrong. Pas is doing is wrong. Amno is doing is wrong. Oh, everybody is wrong except you. Yeah, except you because I understand the Quran. The proof that I understand the Quran, I make the tafsir of the Quran. You read it. Don't simply jump to the conclusion, oh, he's only saying he's right and we are all wrong. He's so proud man. And then you're making a sin, Gibta. You are making sin and ghibat. Backbiting. I have the right to say you are wrong. I have the right. I have all the right and I am commanded to do that. To say what is wrong as wrong, what is right is right. That is called ulama, the true ulama. If you are wrong, I say, oh, you are right. That is wrong. That's wrong on my part. For example, the dua for kunut. Why the mazhab Hanafi doesn't want to do dua kunut in fajar? Why? For what reason? No reason given. Except we are from mazhab Hanafi. So when the Shafi'i Imam make kunut, we don't raise our hand. As if the kunut which has been practiced by mazhab Hanafi Shafi'i is wrong. No, it's not wrong. It says, what is the hukum? The hukum is sunat ghair mu'akkadah. That means it's not really, commendable. But yet it is allowable. We are allowed to do dua kunut. It's sunat ghair mu'akkadah. So when you pray with the Imam of Imam Shafi'i Mazhab, when they raise your hand, you should raise your hand too. What's wrong? Why you are not raising your hand? That is sunat ghair mu'akkadah. Can be done. You can do it every day, or you don't want to do it. But it is Sunnah, ghair mu'akkadah, you know. Nobody knows about this. So I must tell what has been done by the Mazhab Shafi in Fajar Sahabat while having Imam of Mazhab Shafi not raising hand is wrong. And arguing about this, you know, this is sunat, this doa kunut is wrong or not, is why you argue? He says ghair mu'akkadah, can be done. What about the hukum of the, you know, having feast? I mean, having, you know, giving, you know, like a feast after the death for 3 days. What is the hukum? You must know the hukum. If you don't know, you don't say it's wrong or right. What right you have to say it's wrong? You don't have knowledge. What's the hukum of that dua, or they call it, Malays have done? It is makruh. But makruh what? Makruh which is not near to haram. It can be done. Makruh. Why? Why you argue with it? Because they don't know the truth. So as a person who knows the truth, I must tell the truth. When it is true, I must tell it's wrong when it is wrong. This is what is demanded from the true scholars of Islam, which are not available in this world nowadays, because they don't know the Quran. If you are to be known as a scholars of Islam, you must be able to understand the Quran properly, accurately. If you don't ever open your mouth to say anything which only causes dissension, you know, among Muslims. So those who are not religiously, those who are not having the knowledge, the true knowledge of the Quran, better keep quiet and shut up. You don't utter anything which is you think is right. No, you must utter it when you know it is very right and it is very wrong. Otherwise, you will bear the burdens of sins, of saying right as wrong, wrong as right. You know, that's why no one has ever been able to make the tafsir of Quran as much and as accurate as I did. So you better don't read any other tafsir of the Quran except mine. I'm telling you not because I'm proud. It is commanded for me to tell you to read the tafsir which is the most correct one. If you read the tafsir which is not correct, then you will not be able to attain the true knowledge. And what will happen to you and your practices when you obey something which is untrue? Naturally, you waste your time. You end up yourself in the hellfire. You must read it, understand it, buy it at what cost. You don't expect it to be free. If you go to any doctor, get injection, buy any books, even the rotten book, you will be able to get it free. Can you? No. Don't tell me that I'm selling books for money. I'm not doing the tafsir of Quran for money. I'm only talking the royalty only. That's all. The selling of the Quran, other than royalty, is not be taken by me. It's haram. I shouldn't sell religious knowledge. I get only the royalty. From other things I have to give to other people, including to my members of my family. I'm allowed to do that. That's all. My lecture, I cannot get money out of this lecture. Free. We cannot ask for money if you are the true scholar of Islam. So the true scholars of Islam must know all the hukum. How he will know it? If Allah do not teach him, if he has not having the means to ask Allah. Allah have given me the means to ask him at any time, whether it is hukum is halal or haram, it is makruh or far, makruh tahrimi or makruh non-tahrimi. So I've been given the award of having knowledge. Why? Because He loved me. Allah loved me. Why He loved me? Because I've been all the life long, all the while, even though I'm not a scholar, so-called named scholar, I'm all the while submitting myself to His will, to His desire, to make the entire mankind to submit to Him. Not only the entire mankind, the entire jinn. It goes in my prayer, in my dua, and also the dua which I've taught the whole men to recite when they do gash. To make dua for the entire mankind and the entire jinn. So that's the reason why He loved me so much. He cannot love any other people other than me more. Because I'm having all my life has been submitting to fulfill His desire, Allah's desire. What desire of Allah? To make every one of His creation, jinns and men, to enter paradise and save from hellfire. That's my wish. What Allah wants is a different matter. That's my wish, my desire, that the entire mankind and jinn shall be saved from hellfire and able to enter paradise. So that's desire of mine, is being exposed and made known in my prayer, in my dua, in my salat. And surely Allah says, you are one of my slaves, only one who have desire as I have. The desire of Allah, if Allah says, if only I follow my desire, I will make everybody become believers if I'm to follow my desire. But I'm not. I want to test man and jinn. I want to know who from among jinn who are eligible to enter paradise, save from hellfire, and who among them who are eligible to enter paradise and to enter hellfire and not going to paradise. But the real desire of Allah is not that. The real desire is for them, men and jinn, to enter paradise. And that's why I go with His desire. So much so, I wish He will make a time will come when the entire mankind, jinn, will all enter Islam, embrace Islam, able to become the true believers of good deeds, able to enter paradise and save from hellfire. Okay.